All right, so today I am working on the ignition for the R6. You can see the ignition here, and this whole assembly had to come off. And that is because from the factory, they seal off those bolts so that no Joe Schmo off the street can put a new ignition on your bike and ride it off into the sunset. So got to take this off to tap those bolts, to pull the bolts out, to put the new ignition in. I also have the new gas cap and the new latch for the storage space underneath that back seat. But as you can see, this is just about off. I just have to do those two plugs there and then get this out. But yeah, the wiring that goes underneath the frame and then down here, and you can see the two connectors down there. Have the valves kind of closed off. You see the intake tubes down here. Air boxes over there, and then the new ignition straight from China. It looks really similar. See that? And then the gas cap. The only difference with this gas cap is that it doesn't have the little Yamaha logo underneath the pull tab. And it might be it's like a shade darker than the original. And then the little latch for behind that, main seat underneath the rear seat. And then 2 keys, because 2 keys is always better than 1 key. Yep, gonna swap this out. We'll see how this goes. This will be fun. And then I'll put a picture up, obviously. If I get it off and I'm able to swap it out, I'll put a picture up. So when it comes to getting those bolts out, there are many different ways of going about it. Speak of the devil. That's on, sure enough. I guess it's just biting down on those bolts and all right, the last few days have been busy, but the R6 is back together and she looks great. She sounds great. I won't ruin any surprises, but starting with the biggest thing, the tank is back on the bike. It took numerous coats of paint, took numerous coats of clear coat. I kept getting globs of paint and like gnats and stuff would fly into it, and oh man, just everything you could think of just kept going wrong. I finally got it how I wanted it, hit it with the clear coat, and waited a few days, and now it's back on the bike, and now you can actually touch it. You don't have to worry about anything going wrong, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna test that. You can see here the ignition has been swapped out. That was a headache. But now when you turn the key, it actually does what it's supposed to do. And there's a little satisfying click that goes along with it. But not only the ignition, was also this locking mechanism, as well as the locking mechanism for the storage underneath this back seat. This was a pain in the butt because the one that I bought did not come with a gasket. So I was like, all right, I'll just use the gasket from the old one. Nope, there's a different bolt pattern on the new one. So I had to use the old gas cap as well as the old gasket, and I had to figure out how to get the old lock off and put the new lock on. It took a little bit of fiddling, but I was able to. That actually used to be a corner. It's no longer a corner. This used to be a little bit longer. It is no longer. And yeah, you can see that this is all new stuff. This is that old gasket. This is the old cap. It still has the Yamaha logo, which I think is pretty neat. That's the one thing that I kind of wish the new one had, and I got to keep it. So this little latch is the only other thing that's kind of off about it, but you just have to push it down. I mean, it's small stuff. Small potatoes, don't even worry about that. And then this latch here, I had to use parts off of the old one with this new one to get it to work. So I'm not sure what I ordered, but we made it work. And I used the bolts off of the new one, and cleaned this all up, so it looks good. This was painted as well, and when I was painting this black and I was painting this white, something went wrong with this, so I sprayed it white, and this was too close, and now there's little specks of white in the black, but I thought it looked cool, so I clear coated over it. Kind of has like that galaxy look to it, and you know, this doesn't really do it justice. Maybe when you see it out in the sun, it'll look a little bit cooler, but it does look very nice, and it's all clear coated, so it's very soft and shiny and all the good stuff. And it's protected, so that's the big thing. What else? There's so many things. The brake fluid was done. You can see there is the front, and here is the rear. I don't know how long it had been since the brake fluid had been swapped out, but I saved it, and you can just see how nasty this stuff looks. I mean, this looks like sweet tea. I probably should throw it away so someone doesn't drink it, but I'll do a little side by side. Yikes. Nasty stuff. Finally got it done. Threw some rags and stuff over the tank because I've had some bad luck as far as paint goes. So I didn't want to mess up the paint, and I didn't. And this, it's got pressure. It's very, very good pressure. The rear has really good pressure too. But then as far as this went, there's like this little cap here. Take this little cap off. You put a hose on it and connect it to a water bottle. You squeeze down on the brake. You charge it up, you know, pressurize it a little bit. Crack that nut, and it bleeds out. And then you tighten it back up, and then you can let go of this. And then you just do it over. Just keep doing it until it turns the right color, turns the color you're looking for. But I got all of that done, and my buddy suggested that I use a different brake fluid, so I went with the DOT 5.1. So if I ever do a track day, I'm ready for the track. The coolant was flushed, and I put some new coolant in as well. Kind of see down here. You unscrew that, drain it, close it back up, fill it back up. I did distilled water once through, and then I did like a 70-30, like 70% distilled water and 30% that Prestone, you know, concentrated antifreeze or whatever. I'm gonna check it tomorrow. I think I need to add a little bit more water to it. But I did run it around the neighborhood once just to kind of get the fans going and get the water and antifreeze moving around and stuff. So check it tomorrow. It's still a little warm. And oh, there's one more thing. It's the biggest thing of them all. That's real carbon fiber. That's not fake carbon fiber. I was sitting in my room, the UPS driver pulls up, and I was wondering, you know, what he was delivering, because I didn't order anything. Sure enough, there's a big old, you know, white M4 box in his hands. And man, if I didn't beat him to the front door and had it opened up before he drove off. It was very easy to install. Just a clamp down here, a couple springs holding these two together, and then this retainer to this back footrest thing, little foot peg area. And then boom, it was on. It sounds amazing. And yeah, I'll let you hear it. What? The bike rides, I'll let you hear it. But yeah, real carbon fiber. Look at it glisten. Just absolutely beautiful. A shipping confirmation or a tracking number would have been nice. I love surprises though, so it's not it's not the end of the world. But yeah, it looks good. It sounds good. This has a little rubber piece that goes underneath it. And unfortunately, I couldn't get the rubber piece to stay without it coming off and just looking janky. So until I figure out a better solution for that, this is what I'm left with. And then this hardware, I picked it up from Ace with the helpful hardware folks. But let's see. Boom. A nice little click. Oh, man. Fuel pump? No. No fuel pump. It doesn't do it justice. It really doesn't. I can't rev it right now. I would love to rev it for everyone watching, but unfortunately, if I look at my watch here, what time is it? Oh, yeah, it's 1:40 in the morning. Probably shouldn't rev it right now. But yeah, on that note, I am off to bed. But I think the next thing for this is gonna be plastics, maybe. Brake pads. Definitely need to replace the brake pads. I think one of them, they're like, I wouldn't call them defective brake pads, but they definitely have something on them. So I'm gonna have to replace those and clean them up. The front and maybe the rear. The rear tire had low pressure. I had to pump it up. It was about 9 PSI, which was kind of low. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'll have to look into it. But tomorrow is a CB350 day. And as you can see, man, it's actually looking like a bike, which is starting to look like a bike anyways. But it's awesome. It's coming together, but I will save that for another video. I will show you the paint though, because this was another headache that I finally figured out. Just look at that ruby red metallic. There we go, focus for me. It's glistening. All right, y'all have been great. Have a great night, and I will see you in the next one.